Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Roughie's football show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Thursday. I'm Peter Martin. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme and your support on our YouTube channel at PLZ Soccer. In the studio tonight, Alan Rough and Tam Cowan are here with me, and there's quite a lot on the agenda. Straight to the hot topic, which is, of course, heading the football. There's a number of footballers over the course of the last, certainly 5 years, 10 years, that have highlighted the dangers of heading the ball, dementia. I think it's a big worry. Now we've got a story that within weeks the SFA are considering banning heading the ball for under 12s. Roughie, you are of an age where quite a lot of footballers were heading a very, very heavy ball. Nowadays, you know, there's evidence which is suggesting a lot of footballers are suffering, but is there enough evidence to get to the situation where we have to ban kids heading the ball?
Yeah, I think the evidence, as you said, they touched on it when I played way back in the 70s. The balls were extremely heavy, and there was no building up for the back. There was no keeping the ball on the deck. As soon as the goalkeeper got the ball, he just launched it as far as he could, and then it was up to the centre half or the centre forward to joist for the ball. You know, and if you think the amount of times they must have headed the ball in their career, I can appreciate how some people might have been affected by that. I think the game has moved on now. The balls are much lighter, and if there is a way that we can get the kids, you know, to play with a lighter ball, then so be it. You know, I think there's lots of things we can do, but I don't think you can take heading out of the game. It's an important part of the game for obviously scoring goals and preventing goals.
Yeah, even at youth level?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's ways and means for everything. You know, I think we've just got to sit down and come up with the right solution. Under 12, yeah, you can. We all want them to be comfortable on the deck with the ball. You know, and that seems to be the way ahead. So that's the right place to start. You know, and if they can benefit from that age and then breed it into them as they get older.
Yeah, okay. It's a hot topic, this one. And again, Tam, you know, especially in this day and age, I try to get a balance on it. Once you get momentum and you get a number of people really pushing on this, anybody who offers a counter towards it sometimes has to suffer the wrath of the baying mob. So all I would say is the professor at the university who has at great detail gone into heading of the ball, he's not suggesting that this should be a blanket ban. What he is saying, is there's not enough concrete evidence, and he accepts there's not enough concrete evidence to link the two, the heading the ball, the dementia. I know that people are going into it in great detail and research, but it's not there yet. Are we maybe on a knee-jerk reaction here?
Well, I don't know if it's a knee-jerk reaction, but I think what we need to bear in mind is if you're talking about the under-12s, that seems to make perfect sense to me, because that is the age when our bodies haven't fully matured. And, a lot of the damage would maybe kick in there. If there was definitely something in this, the names that we would trot out of yesteryear, who we believe may have been ill because of heading the ball. They weren't just heading the ball professionally as well. They had to come up as kids as well. Mm-hmm. And the balls weren't necessarily any lighter when they were playing as kids, Yeah. And when your body is still forming, when your body is still maturing, I'm guessing a lot of the damage could be done. So I would look at it as being a double winner here maybe, because if they did introduce it for the under-12s, that's also an age group when everybody now, the purists, are hoping that young guys would learn how to play football, learn how to control the ball, learn how to pass the ball, and maybe they wouldn't need to put any emphasis on heading it. And it does seem, I think in the passing of time, you think, and I challenge you both to rattle me off some names, that there were players of a certain era who were synonymous with heading the ball, and I can't think of as many now. Way back when, you think of somebody like Roughie's old pal Gordon McQueen, first and foremost thought of a big guy that headed the ball at the back and then up front, of course, and most famously against England. You think of guys like Joe Jordan heading the ball. You think of Andy Gray going in where boots were flying, or what a brave man he was, going in heading the ball 3 yards off the ground. I'm struggling to think in this day and age of a great header of the ball. I think it is already, going back to what Roughie said there, because players now in teams now, whether they're good at it or not is another matter, but encouraged to try and play the ball up for the back.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's part of the game that is slowly dying out anyway. So, but it would be great, you're right, Peter, because there's going to be a lot of reaction from people on this, and I think it's one thing we maybe in a way shouldn't even be debating. I think it's something you've got to leave to the experts, and if they come up with the concrete evidence, then let these guys go on with it.
Yeah, I know people out with the game, people who've played the game, obviously will be very passionate about this, and of course managers and players now have their own thoughts on it. Today, Steven Gerrard offered maybe an alternative route on this one.
Well, this is what I'm saying to you. I think you can still have them heading balls and the technique and the timing of going to jump, what positions to attack, but you can maybe help them in terms of the lightness of the ball.
Yeah, lighter ball, Roughie, maybe even a smaller ball.
Well, the greatest teams in the world came from Brazil, and if you listen to most of their players, they used to say they were taught on the beach, with a small ball, ball skills, that kind of thing. So I don't think there'd be much heading going on.
And if you think of the Scottish guys at the same era, we were always told it was at the back courts, at the backyards or whatever, and it was invariably a tennis ball or something.
Yeah.
It was always a smaller ball, and we keep apparently pining for those days and saying, oh, that's the sort of players that we want to bring through now. So there might be something in this. I like the fact as well that, the under-12s talking about bringing it in. And I think it's quite nice as well that they've trialled this as well at Hearts with none of their centre-halves heading the ball for about the past year and a half now. So we could maybe take something out of that,
Yes. Okay. I blanked that completely. Basically because I was actually...
You were looking at the history. You were looking at the history in his laptop. You look a panic in his eyes.
At the first point, honestly, the worst thing you can do when you're on the show is start to read something to quote somebody. But it's brilliant. You come out of left field.
Pictures you're looking at.
The point of us going
Control Alt Delete.
It's
easy, Peter.
I was just about to quote a guy that I know very well, who was obviously given an award at last year's PFA Player of the Year Awards, which is the SFA's Dr. John McLean. And John says, listen, we can't wait on the evidence one way or the other on this. This is what he had to say. This is the point I was about to make. With it, we can't wait on the evidence one way or the other on heading. We need to take some sensible, pragmatic steps at the moment, and that's largely going to be about trying to reduce that overall burden. The overall times that young players head, and head in training is much more common than in matches. The study was never designed to and couldn't identify why, but I think most people would say pragmatically that it would be head injury or heading in whatever combination that would be. So Dr. John is a man, John McLean is a man I respect greatly.
Doctor, you're saying? Doctor, exactly. Here we go. 3 fuds sitting round a desk here. There'll be guys in the pub. We'll discuss this as well. Leave it to the experts. There's a doctor having his say. Yeah. That's what we need to do about this when you're talking about people's health, ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you'll agree. I thought somebody else had walked in there when Tam counted 3 fuds. Let's crack on. I don't think I've ever heard that on the programme before. Roughie, he's brought some extra vocabulary to the show on a regular basis. It's been absolutely brilliant. Okay, we conducted a poll on PLZ Soccer with regards to heading the ball, and the results, of course, we want to know where you think heading the ball should be banned. 42.5% said yes, 57.5% said no. So clearly, passion's running high. And again, I'm sure if we actually dissected the average age of people who were voting again, you could maybe say that there are some people who've got a link to the old game that want to see heading continued. And obviously, the newer, younger people are looking and saying, well, listen, let's protect our youth and see it. But I like what you said, Roughie, on this. I think we've got to at the under-12s, I don't have any problem with it. Scotland will be the first in Europe to bring it in. If they do indeed ban heading for under-12s, the USA have obviously brought that in well over a year ago. But I think we need to gradually then introduce, as Tam says, when you're developing and your body is stronger, you still need heading as part of the game. It's a vital part of it. I agree with you on that.
10 at 6s. 10 at 6s is something that we always look back on with great nostalgia. You get a lot of the right good ball players that were playing with any particular teams at the time who took part in that, at the SEC in Glasgow or wherever it was. And heading just wasn't a thing in that. Yeah. But it didn't detract anything for the tournament or for the fans' enjoyment. That was a brilliant event. But when you think back, I'd be struggling to think of a single header that I saw in an entire tournament of the 10 at 6s.
No, you're absolutely right,
It's definitely getting phased out in football. Honestly, I'm putting you on the spot here now, but who is there in the current game that is known for heading the ball? There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's a good one. You're actually you're looking
No,
at saying there's not somebody prolific.
No, and I would think centre halves don't header the ball.
No, they don't.
50% as much as what they used to do in the olden days, because it's all coming from the flanks and it's on the deck, and they just have to defend it if it's there to be defended.
And the very idea, a goal like, let's say, Kenny Dalglish's famous goal at Anfield 1977, that sort of move, the ball out and a cross coming in, a glancing header, that's the sort of goal that almost seems a dim and distant memory, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe the heading is just going to phase itself out.
Yep, certainly will play a lesser role if the football continues to develop the way it's doing at the moment. You can give us your opinion on it. We'd love to hear from you right across all our social media. After that discussion about heading the ball, what about kicking the ball into the back of the net in a cup tie? We're going to talk Scottish Cup ties after we give you details of our competition. Cup shocks, that's what we're going to delve into now. I don't think there'll be too many predicting a cup shock between Rangers and Stranraer, despite the fact that Rangers maybe have an injury worry over their captain. There were suggestions that he could be out for 6 weeks. It looks as if it's going to be... we'll let Stephen Gerrard give us the update first of all.
Pretty good. We had a problem yesterday with Tav. I know there's some rumours circulating that he's going to be missing for 6 weeks and a couple of months. They aren't true. He'll probably be missing for a couple of weeks, all being well. He's had a little minor procedure around his appendix.
Even without James Tavernier, Rangers will have more than enough for Stranraer, surely.
Yeah, this is a day out for the town of Stranraer and the players to go along there and sample 50,000 people. A lot of them won't have experienced anything like that. It's a day to enjoy and just soak up. They'll be hoping it's a respectable score at the end of the day, and they can build on that. But it'll be a wonderful day for the players.
I think the only shock with that one, Peter, that it's live on the telly. Now, we all knew at Premier Sports what their angle was for the outset. They held their hands up and says, look, we're only doing the Celtic and Rangers games. Simple as that. That's where we're hoping to get our subscriptions from globally, indeed. But... you know, if you know, I wouldn't do it personally, but if you to sign up to watch that game, you know, and then Rangers is, you know, it would hardly be surprising, opened the scoring for Morelos in 3 minutes. It's a non-event, you know. You're already looking for the double Coronation Street in the Friday night, you know. So I think that's horrendous, and I must say the same. No offence to Partick Thistle, but by and large they've been rotten this season. Celtic, I'm guessing, are going to pummel them, and Premier Sports have snapped that up as well. I just think even for the Celtic and the Rangers fans who wouldn't miss a game like that, and if they don't have access to it and they're not actually physically able to go to the game, or if they're somewhere else on the planet, fair enough, they're going to put the money into Premier Sports' pocket, but I just think it's horrendous. Very high those games. Stranraer had been at home. If you're doing it at Stair Park and there's the off chance with the wee pitch and you know, everything else that goes with that, and maybe Stranraer sneaking one for a corner or that and making a game of it, but it's not going to be like that at Ibrox.
Yeah, don't forget, if you are a football fanatic, you can watch the game rather than a double dose of Coronation Street. That's all I'm telling you. You know, there are options, even though it's good. Listen, just one little footnote for Rangers, Tam. They're starting to clear out some of the fringe players who've got no chance. Greg Docherty, you got to go and play. Yep. Jamie Murphy, another one who, you know, that injury killed off any chance at Rangers.
He got a club yet, Jamie Murphy?
I think it looks as if it's going back to one of his old managers joining up at Burton Albion.
Oh, I mean, there you go. On paper, I don't know how it works financially, but okay, he wouldn't have then been able to play against Rangers for Motherwell, but Fir Park should have been the only place for him there. He still loved it, Fir Park. The fans think a lot of him. I'm sure he would have loved to have come back, and that's a bit of a shame. I was hoping you were going to excite me there, because I didn't hear that news about Burton Albion. Yeah. But yeah, Rangers have got to kind of do that. There'll be Rangers fans watching the money that Celtic have spent on players coming in. But I just think it's great that it's... how many times at this time of year have we come back after the winter break, and maybe Celtic were already 7, 8, 9 points clear, and you think, same old. But suddenly... you know, that we'll get the immediate excitement of the Scottish Cup, which can't beat, particularly at this round, and who knows, there might be a shock or two in there. And then you've got this absolutely brilliant league campaign, top and bottom, of course, and right throughout the leagues. And joy of joys, the Blazers never ever get enough plaudits when they deserve them. But when you even look at the Championship with Dundee United, in my opinion, and many others, home and hosed, thank God for the playoffs, which makes that still an absolutely cracking league. I was looking at it the other day. I couldn't even rule out Thistle. A lot of Thistle fans might think, we're looking almost like Doonaway, hope we're not in that playoff. But you're right.
There's
you get 2 or 3 wins together, and you're
teams.
up in the playoffs. So thank God for the playoffs. It's made it so exciting.
Just one answer there from Tam, which basically encapsulated the Scottish Cup, the league battle, and the Championship as well. For one scary moment, with only about 4 minutes left, I thought, if he goes on to Euro 2020, I'm going to dive right off a cliff. Anyway, apart from anything else, Roughie did touch on your Scottish Cup tie. You've got Celtic. It's going to be on the telly. You might even get a wee look at Celtic's new signing, who's reckoned Patrick Klimala. The best way to look at Scottish football is have a wee video and a look at Scott Brown's tackles. He's getting ready for some hefty ones coming in. Yeah,
well, our game seems to have that tag associated with it. I'm hoping he'll be surprised, because there are a lot of teams in our league, like Motherwell, like Aberdeen, who like to play football. So let's hope he's not too worried about the tackles, but I'm sure he will be marked quite closely at the weekend.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be... I'm sure you won't thank me for saying I don't think there'll be a cup shock at Firhill, but what I would say, Tam, is I think the 2 Edinburgh clubs are the best bet for a cup shock, because, you know, I look and I see all the stories that are linked at the moment with Hearts and the turmoil they're in. They've got Aaron Hickey, suddenly interesting AC Milan. Is that a wee bit of a agent's talk there? I think, you know, the likes of Aaron Hickey is the type of player that Daniel Stendhal will want to hold on to build for the next year or two, to let him develop.
Absolutely. And the other side of the city, you look at Hibs, Dundee United. They get into the game against Hibs with not a worry in the world. They are way clear at the top of the Championship, and there's absolutely no doubt that was their number one concern this season. And I'm sure, it sounds a bit a terrible old cliche, that Robbie Nielsen can just say to them, away out and enjoy yourselves, you know. Yeah. And you know what, if we get beat with Hibs, everybody will say, aye, right enough, Dundee United been in the Championship for 4 years. Of course Hibs were going to win that one. But you could say, away out and make a name for yourself. Yeah. And if I was one of the Hibs central defenders, I wouldn't be particularly looking forward to getting up against Lawrence Shankland, who's an absolute fire, the perfect hat trick the other week there, left foot, right foot, header, and full internationalist. Now, he's another guy that might think, you know, this is not a bad wee platform for me to get moving on and knock out a top flight club. So that looks like a cracker. That one, I believe, is on the telly as well. That is precisely the sort of game that's on the telly. I think that's in Sky at about 5:30 on Saturday night. Yeah. The Motherwell game, Dundee against Motherwell, which again, I would say myself, we're not going up there. Billy Big Boys think that we've got that in the bag. That's a tasty game as well, and that is live on the BBC. These are the sort of games that they should be live on the telly. It's going to whet the appetite and get you in there watching. But I do think that if you were a couple of spare quid left over for Christmas, Motherwell odds against, there's a few of my mates talking about it already, if we can bounce back after the wee winter break we had, nice bit of sunshine around Tenerife. We had a closed doors game. I've no idea how it panned out against Hibs, other than the two clubs agreed beforehand apparently, which made sense, to play their strongest starting 11 to help both of them in the build up to the cup. So I think we're going to be in pretty good nick. Dundee have been brutal, let's be honest. So 65-year dough, Peter Motherwell.
Yeah, okay. If you're a betting man, I always like to keep my money firmly in my pocket, but you never know, you might want to take up Tam's offer there. And of course, if you were worrying about what to watch this weekend, Tam's given you a thorough rundown on soap operas and every game that's live across the telly, which tells you he studied it in great depth. Great to chat to Roughie for a couple of minutes there. Roughie, we will obviously be back tomorrow, because Friday, Barry Ferguson will be with us in the studio, and we'll look ahead in greater detail to the Scottish Cup ties, and we'll do our predictions as well. Thanks to Tam for joining us. I leave you with some sad news. Of course, Scottish football never likes to see some of the greats pass away, and that's exactly what's happened to a Rangers great. And of course, I think it's only right and proper, Roughie, you know, in the Keepers Union, that you pay tribute to the great Bobby Brown.
Yeah, it's a shame. Everybody talks about the 1967 game, the Baxters, and beating England, and nobody remembers that he was the manager that picked that team to go out and beat England. So yeah, great servant to the game, you know, at club level and at international level as well. Met him a couple of times. Really nice guy, genuine guy.
I had him on the radio with us once, Peter, and even up to that, I mean, a remarkable age that he got, the class at a good innings, 96. He must have been late 80s when we had him on the radio, and absolutely lucid, great stories, great memories, a real halcyon period of Scottish football.
Yep, and truly missed by all of the Rangers family. We leave you with our own tribute, and from Roughie and from Tam Cowan and myself, thanks very much for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.